Welcome back, football fans. The World Cup is here. As you can see, we've got a couple of games in this episode, the first of many predictions show episodes throughout the World Cup, hoping for daily uploads. So if you are enjoying the channel and the content, please do like and subscribe. Mexico against South Africa is the opening game, and then we're also in this video going to cover South Korea hosting Czech Republic. That is a big game in that group, given the dynamics of the group, of course. And then tomorrow's video will cover Canada and the USA, the other co-hosts, and their opening games. I'm very excited. Without further ado, let's get into it. So we start in the altitude of the Azteca Arena, which has a rich history. It is the only stadium in world football to have hosted two World Cup finals already, 1970 and 1986. It's also where Maradona put it in the net with his hand, but the less said about that, the better. And this is a repeat, a reversal of the 2010 opening game, which ended 1-1 between South Africa and Mexico. And everybody remembers that opening game, the opening goal of the tournament for South Africa. What a moment. And for South Africa, it is their first World Cup since 2010. 16 years of failing to qualify, but they even finished above Nigeria in qualifying this time round, and they opened the tournament against Mexico. Let's take a look at the data for both teams. Mexico are unbeaten in the last 8 games. They're not conceding many goals as well. They beat United States, of course, in the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Not sure how much weight you put on that, where you rank it in terms of global competitions, but they did well in it regardless, and they are a pretty solid team by the looks of things, and they are going to be playing at altitude, which is a big plus for them. And for South Africa in AFCON, we can just look at goals conceded here. They conceded in every single game that they played, didn't go too far in the competition, and as I say, they are in their first World Cup since 2010. They are 60th placed in the FIFA World Rankings, and they are coming up against Mexico, who are ranked 15th. Under 2.5 goals at 1.66 shows you what kind of game we may get here. Opening games are usually quite cagey, and get this, listen to this for a statistic. Mexico have not lost their opening World Cup fixture in the last 7 attempts. 7 opening World Cup games unbeaten. Can they make it 8 out of 8 here? The referee is Wilton Pereira Sampaio. He is a South American referee, which could be interesting given that he is officiating Mexico. He's Brazilian. He officiates in Serie A, Serie B, and we can see here in the database just under 300 appearances, 4.93 cards per game, 71 red cards as well, so a red card every 4 games, 2 first half cards on average, and 3.3 in the second half. So he is a very card-heavy referee, but how will that change for the World Cup? Remember, the referees are taken to a room and given instructions, detailed instructions on certain rules and certain things that they want to see applied in the competition. So regardless of a referee's metrics, they can become a little bit more lenient or a little bit more hesitant in a competition such as this. He has booked both teams in 88% of the games in the database, and I do think we will see it again. I'm going to lean towards second half cards as well. Now then, we have launched a brand new World Cup predictions hub. You can win real world prizes for predicting the World Cup. It's free to enter. All you've got to do is go to the World Cup hub that we put together, where you can look at all the team stats and player stats. And I'm going to show you my prediction on every video so you can follow along. I am going to go with South Africa to not score in this game, and that will reward me 2.75 points should it land. So don't forget to add your predictions and you can win £1,000 as well as other real world prizes. All you've got to do is finish inside the top 10 when the final ball is kicked at this World Cup. And speaking of competitions and winners, well done to this person. You have won 3 months of OddAlerts Pro for commenting and predicting on our last Champions League final video. So well done to you. And the same applies for this video and every video that we put out for the World Cup. Get your predictions in the comments for your chance to win. And I'm going to make it really easy for you. What is the score going to be in this opening game of the World Cup? Get your predictions in and I will see you in the comments. I look forward to reading them. Good luck. Now, our World Cup hub also has a players section where you can look at many statistics, and we're looking at the last 10 games here, and we are zoning in on a specific fixture which brings in all of the players from both official World Cup squads. And we can see the top of the pile there, Raul Jimenez. This is his data for Fulham, but of course, if you're following the news, he has rejoined Wolves in the Championship. He is going to score some goals in the Championship next season. Raul Jimenez for Fulham in the last 10 games has won 2.63 fouls for his team. Will he win one for his nation in the opening game of the World Cup? I think he will, and I also think he will have a shot on target. Here is my selection for that game at 3s. Remember, get your comments in for your chance to win OddAlerts Pro. South Africa to get over 1 card in the second half. These World Cup opening games are usually quite tight and nervy in the first half. This one could be a little bit different. I think there's going to be a bit of a frantic and crazy and celebratory atmosphere at the Aztec Arena. I think it should be some game, and I have no doubts about Mexico and why they are favourites for this one. Next up, we look at South Korea. Now to South Korea against Czech Republic. This one also being played in Mexico, in Guadalajara, 3 a.m. UK time. That's why I've bundled it in with this video. And for South Korea, pretty easy qualifying route, as it usually is. For Czech Republic, they had to come through 2 playoff rounds. They beat Ireland and Denmark, both going all the way to penalties. And this is the first ever competitive game between these two nations. The conditions will likely be a leveler for this game, altitude and heat expected. Our probability model is favouring South Korea, 41.8%. Let's take a look at the goals as well. Over 1.5 goals, 75%. Under 3.5 goals, also 71.5%. Over 2.5 goals, looks like it's a bit of a coin flip, 50.5%. There's been a lot of draws for Czech Republic recently, especially in those playoffs games going the distance. They're not the worst team in the world. And South Korea, it's hard to really gauge because some of the teams that they play in qualifying makes it hard to gauge how good they are, to be honest. They've obviously got some good players at the top end of the pitch and in central defence as well. Son Heung-min is going to be the star, as he always is, his last World Cup. He's been in America, not Mexico, but America, so he may be used to the heat in some capacity, but it's a big World Cup for him, and you think that maybe he went to America so that he could prepare for this, so you expect that he is ready. Now taking a look at the player data, shots on target per 90, we see Patrick Schick at the top. He is a decent bet to be the top Czech Republic goal scorer. He'll be on penalties as well. Son Heung-min not even in the top 5, but he has been involved directly in 4 of South Korea's last 10 World Cup goals. And for Patrick Schick, 6 goals in 7 major tournament appearances. He lit up the previous Euros, didn't he? And he's in great form at the moment for Leverkusen. 8 goals in his last 10 competitive games. And we'll take another look at the referee because it is an Egyptian referee for this one, Amin Mohamed Amar, and we can see the difference in the two referees, 3.83 cards per game and just 27 red cards, that's 0.2 per game. First half cards 1.51 compared to 2.64 in the second half, booking both teams in 80% of games, and over 2.5 cards in just 71% of his games. Now, just looking at the team data again, just doing a bit more research, link in the description if you want to check all this out. We can see second half goals here, so many second half goals, and only 3 games in the past couple of years have seen no second half goals. And this is only showing you competitive games. So that is nearly 30 games for Czech Republic, and a huge majority saw multiple goals in the second half. So with all that said and done, I did a bit more research as well, but it's quite boring, you just watching me research. Link in the description to use all of the tools, and don't forget to get your predictions in for all of these games to win OddAlerts Pro. This is what I'm on, 3.4. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. And of course, I don't have the luxury of lineups, so I'm having to look at players that I really do think will be starting these games, and the data is still good for them. Hwang, formerly of Wolves, to win a foul in this game. Patrick Schick to commit a foul as that pressing forward, energetic, he's everywhere. Shot on target was tempting, goal or assist was tempting, also for Son. And for most goals to be scored in the second half, there was a big shift with both of these teams. And I do feel, because this is a big game in that group, I do feel that they'll be feeling each other out in the first half. I think that could be the case for a lot of these games in the World Cup in the first round, that it could just be a little bit edgy. It's the first game, maybe feeling out the pitch as well. Don't want to make a mistake in the first game of the World Cup. So most goals to be scored in the second half at 3.4. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments. So the next video on the channel will focus on Canada against Bosnia and Herzegovina, and I do have a great selection for that one already, and you can see the odds 4.8. Let me just tell you as a bit of a preview, I think that is cracking value for Bosnia and Herzegovina. And then the United States against Paraguay, that is going to be covered in the next video. So if you've enjoyed this, please hit like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.